few updates in terms of Starbase and the Starship development. We also take a look at the walkthrough interview from Everyday Astronaut with Elon Musk. As always, a shout out to Everyday Astronaut and NASASpaceflight and Boca Chica for the amazing footage we get from them. Before we start, notice the channel logo on the right hand side. There is a channel logo. Please press that to subscribe and to get regular notifications. Please also press the like button. That's the only way YouTube recommends my videos. So without any further ado, let's get on with it. So this was just a couple of days ago when Starship 20 was stacked on top of booster number 4. The interview we're about to watch, or the snippet of the interview from Everyday Astronaut with Elon Musk, occurred before this happened. So you'll notice the Starship section behind him, the nose cone, will be unfinished and there's still a lot of heat shield tiles missing from it. Some of the questions there was a lot of questions that was answered by Elon Musk in this interview or walkthrough, and some of them regarding heat shield tiles and also design of the Starship and booster. And as suspected, or as I suggested, the Starship was removed. It was not ready for a launch by a long shot, and there's still lots of work to be done. This was just, they stacked it basically to ensure that they see the processes through and see how it's going to work and how it could work and what they need to edit and change. Like you can see here, there's a bunch of crews working on finalizing the heat shield tiles before they stacked it. Even after they unstacked it, there was some work left in terms of heat shield tiles. Elon Musk referred to a specific design flaw that, according to him, that will probably be changed in future iterations of the Starship. The forward flaps, the section that comes out of the Starship nose cone, that stabilizes it in the air. There's a section that actually, next to the flap, that comes out, and then you get the flap itself that moves. Now that section that is fixed, he refers to that specific section as being a design flaw. And he said that might or will change in future models of the Starship. And in regards to the heat shield tiles themselves, you have to keep in mind these tiles are ceramic tiles and they are fixed to the stainless steel body of the Starship with glue, a specific glue. So it's quite a task to get this done in the correct fashion, because if your tiles are the wrong thickness, the heat comes through too fast or all at once and your heat shield tiles might fall off. As soon as the heat comes through the tiles, it interacts with the glue, which changes the structure and they might fall off. And if that happens, the heat shield tiles will not be sufficient to protect the Starship upon re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. Elon Musk also revealed that the plan for the Orbital launch is to launch from Boca Chica, and then after launch the Starship will detach and the booster will come back down, and it will probably land somewhere in the Gulf of Mexico, about 20 kilometers from land. And then the Starship will exit Earth's atmosphere and travel 3/4 around the Earth, where it will re-enter near Hawaii and splash down about 100 kilometers from the Hawaii coastline. So that was confirmed. Not sure if that will change. This is SpaceX. They are regularly changing stuff, so we'll have to wait and see. Let's get on to the rest of the video.
For the first orbital launch, our goal is to make it to orbit without blowing up.
Yeah,
that's our goal.
Yep.
And frankly, if the booster even does its job and something goes wrong with the ship, I would still count that as good progress.
Yeah.
Like basically, actually, to be totally frank, if it takes off without blowing up the blowing up the stand, stage 0, which is much harder to replace than the booster, that would be a victory. Please do not blow up on the stand. That's what I'm more concerned.
But you keep calling you calling the stand stage 0?
The launch system.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. The ground GSE, the tower, and all that stuff.
Stage 0, yeah.
Okay.
So what does Elon Musk consider a success in terms of the Orbital launch that's supposed to come up? Well, there you have it. If it doesn't blow up on the launch pad, or as he puts it, on stage zero being the infrastructure and the launch tower and the orbital pad. So if it doesn't destroy the infrastructure on the ground, it's considered a success. One would tend to think it would be considered a success if the Starship got to orbit and re-entered safely and the booster splashed down without issues. But keep in mind, this is science that is edited and changed as they happen, and they edit their plans based on the mistakes they make. So keep that in mind.
We don't want 12 of them. It's going to look bizarre, and where will we put them?
Yeah.
So, since we're making rapid iterations with each, almost with basically every single ship and booster has had different iterations. But you either want it to blow up, or the early ones, you want them to blow up, or you're going to have to find a place to store them.
Right.
So we actually want to push the envelope, and frankly, like, if you don't push the envelope, you cannot achieve the goal of a fully and rapidly reusable rocket.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
You have to go close to the edge on margins.
Right. Right.
And there's a recursive factor to mass. So, like, if you add, say, an extra ton of heat shielding, now you also need more propellant to get it to orbit. Right. And you need more propellant to deorbit it. Yes. And you need more propellant to land it.
Yes.
And the structure now has more load, so because it's carrying that extra ton of heat shield.
Yes.
So this applies to any given ton. There's a recursive value.
Yeah.
So in order to achieve the same payload, you have to, each ton is like basically almost like adding 2 tons when it's fully considered.
Definitely.
So I think we calculated it to be like a 1.8 factor, okay. But I think it's probably we're forgetting something that's so close to it too.
Yeah.
So every 1 ton of mass begets an extra ton.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's, for instance?
So that's why SpaceX is not afraid of failure. They use it to develop and, well, improve their developments. Like you heard, they're not afraid of ships blowing up because they push them to the limit to see where the limits are and improve on their designs. So what happens after Starship was removed from booster number 4? Well, it was taken to the mid-bay where they are currently working on it again and completing or finalizing the heat shield tiles. Like you can see on the screen here, there's a lot of green and orange marks or markings on the Starship. Not quite sure what this is yet. It could indicate many things, possibly which heat shield tiles must be removed or where there's gaps in the armor, so to speak. I'm not sure, but as soon as I know, you will know. So this is the quick disconnect arm. Elon Musk referred to this in the full interview that you can catch at Everyday Astronaut. The job of this quick disconnect arm is basically to fuel the Starship, and on the first launch it will not be connected, the Starship will not be connected to the launch support tower yet, because they're still busy working on the launch tower. So the work of this specific part is to fuel the Starship and stabilize the Starship and the booster to a degree. So that's just a quick update on what's happening at Starbase and some news in regards to the interview that Everyday Astronaut had with Elon Musk. Please do yourself a favor and check out that interview, it's worth the watch. And thanks to Everyday Astronaut for the footage, and also thanks to NASASpaceflight and Boca Chica Gal. As always, please subscribe to my channel and remember to smash that like button. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.